Oh, well, hello there. So it's that time of year where I am on a bit of a Harry Potter vibe. I normally watch all the Harry Potters before Christmas, and of course the Harry Potter reunion just came out, and it got me thinking. There's some pretty good bakes in that movie. So I'm starting a wee mini-series where I'm baking the things in Harry Potter, but I'm gonna make them gluten-free, of course. And we start today with one from the Chamber of Secrets. That is Hermione's Sleeping Draft Cupcakes. These are the ones I'm just looking at here. See these ones? You know the ones where they are getting Crab and Goyle to eat them so they can pull out bits of their hair and put it in the polyjuice potion so that they can transform, go to Slytherin, ask Malfoy who the heir of Slytherin is. You know those ones? Yeah, those ones. So I'm not going to be putting any drugs in it, but I will be making the cupcake. There's something so plain about them, but so delicious looking, and I've got a bit of a plan. It's only really 7 ingredients for the whole thing. The cupcakes themselves, 4 ingredients, maybe 5 if you don't have something that is in it. But I think they're gonna be super easy. So once I film this video, I'll write up the recipe and pop it in the description below if you'd like to follow along that way, or just follow it along now. And yeah, should we get into it? So let's first take a look at what we're gonna be doing with these cupcakes. From the pictures, they look like just a very plain vanilla cupcake, chocolate icing and sprinkles. I will say, it does look like it's got a ganache rather than a buttercream on top. And I reckon I've got the exact sprinkles for this. These little like chocolatey sprinkles, I think they'll be perfect. I got this, by the way, from Sainsbury's or Tesco's. It's like a 4 different chocolate one, but they're all gluten-free. The cupcakes also look like they've risen quite a lot out of the pan as well, and they definitely have indentations from muffin cups. I don't know if I've got the right size muffin cups, but we'll be using muffin cups anyway. And yeah, I think that's it. So first thing I'm gonna do is put the oven onto 165 degrees on bake. We want to cook these cupcakes a little bit slower than normal to get that nice smooth dome. For the cupcake, as I said, we're only going to need 4 ingredients. That's softened butter, 125 grams, some self-raising gluten-free flour. If you don't have gluten-free self-raising flour, don't worry, just use 150 grams of normal gluten-free flour and add in 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 eggs, and 100 grams of sugar, which is roughly about half a cup, and this is caster sugar. My plan was to do the intro and then take the glass and scar off, but we're already into it now. That's staying. So basically all we're going to do is a very classic cupcake mixture. I'm going to cream the butter and the caster sugar together until it's really light and fluffy. And by light and fluffy, I mean that you can tell that the butter has changed color to like a creamier, lighter consistency, and you don't have any bits of sugar still floating around in there. Then we're going to add in just 1 egg at a time, and the eggs do need to be room temperature, and the reason for that is that if you put cold eggs into already like softened room temperature butter, it tends to sort of harden the butter again, and then the consistency is not as smooth, and it takes more mixing to get that smooth mixture. So if you've got nice room temperature eggs, you should be fine. And we're only going to add them in 1 at a time because that also helps with getting a smoother consistency. And lastly, we're just going to sift in our self-raising gluten-free flour or normal gluten-free flour and baking powder and fold that together. We want to do as little folds as possible. So once you've seen that all of that flour is gone, it's all mixed in, stop there. Next, while I don't usually use cupcake muffin holder things for my cupcakes, I usually just butter or grease the outside of the tins. It does look like that the ones in the picture have very clear indentations of a muffin case, so I'm going to go ahead and pop them in. This mixture makes enough for about 8 cupcakes. You can of course double it if you'd like to make more. I'm going to fill them to about 3/4 of the way up. Hello? Have you come to help? Would you like to play Crookshanks? I'm going to chuck these in the oven. Don't know for how long yet. I'm going to start off with 15 minutes and we'll see where we get. So you're probably wondering, Morgan, when are you going to tell us what house you're in? I will say that I retook I made a new account. I retook the Pottermore or Wizarding World House quiz this year, and I once again got Gryffindor. So take from that what you will. Do I see myself as a Gryffindor? Probably yes. Would I be friends with Harry Potter and his two mates? Probably not. In fact, I'd probably find them quite annoying. Every single year, some disruption, and it's always those three. Like, you can't say you wouldn't get annoyed at them. You can't honestly tell me you wouldn't get sick of the favoritism. If you were to ask me, do I think the hate against all Slytherin was just? No, I don't think you can just be innately evil. Totally on side with Hermione about the whole house elf thing. And what's with the goblin hate? My dream in life is to try a butterbeer. When I used to work in the city as a receptionist, there was a few Harry Potter filming locations around, and on lunchtimes I would go to those places. For example, the one scene where Harry and Mr. Weasley get in that telephone box and go down using the guest entrance for Ministry of Magic, that's on a corner right by my work. There's not even a telephone box there, but I was like, nice. Oh my god, I haven't been timing my cupcakes. They don't look like they're cracking, that's good. I recently listened to all of the audiobooks by Stephen Fry for the first time. What a magical experience. Although I will say that the writing in the first one by She Who Must Not Be Named, really basic. The writing really did improve as it went on, but the first one is just like, it's like a proper children's book. Do you know who I want to know more about? Professor McGonagall. I just feel like she'd have a really interesting life. I didn't really get Voldemort's whole thing. Ooh, they're rising really nicely. I'd show you, but my oven screen's too dirty and that's embarrassing. What would I do if I worked in the wizarding world? Honestly, I'd probably bake. I'd probably still do baking. I would consider being an aura. I think that would be legitimately cool, but I just don't think I'd get the marks for it. Axio Lincoln! Woo! I didn't want to get him out of bed, so I just took the whole bed with him. I'd take Link to Hogwarts. Do you want me to take you back now? Okay. I think they're ready. I'm just gonna take these cupcakes out and pop them on a cooling rack. And while we're letting them cool, we're gonna go ahead and make the ganache for the icing. So for that we need 150 grams of chocolate. I've done a mix of mostly milk chocolate and a little bit of dark chocolate. And we just need to chop that up really finely and put that in a heat-proof bowl. Then in a small pan over a low to medium heat, we're gonna heat up our double cream. And we're just gonna heat this up until it's very gently simmering. Keep an eye on this because we don't want it to burn on the bottom. Once it's at a gentle simmer, we're going to take the cream off the heat and pour it over our chopped chocolate, and we're just going to leave it for a couple of minutes to get everything to heat up and melt. And after a couple of minutes, we're just going to take a spoon, mix that all in, make it all chocolatey and smooth, and then we're going to pop it in the fridge to cool. Because it's only a small amount of ganache, it's not going to take too long to cool. But once it has cooled, we're going to move it to a bigger bowl and beat it like you would normal icing sugar. And it's going to turn to a lighter brown color. I don't want it to turn too light, so I'm going to keep it quite thick and quite dark. And once that's beaten up and it's a good consistency, we're going to go ahead and just pipe that onto the cooled cupcakes. The cooled cupcakes. If they're still warm, you're going to get a ganache mess. Oh my gosh! Look at them! I'm so thrilled with how they came out. Does that not look exactly like the cupcakes? Maybe the ganache is a little bit fluffier, but I reckon that means it'll taste nicer. More chocolate equals more nice. So, should we give one a go? Let's give this one a go. The icing's a little bit too high, but oh well. little Harry Potter joke, you guys know. But yeah, there we go. First Harry Potter bake. Sleeping Draft cupcakes. A success. It's really good. So I just went to go give James
one of the cupcakes. I walked straight in there, held the cupcake to his face like this, and he was on a Zoom call with his boss, so I was like, oh well, not too bad. And then I walked past a mirror and realised I still look like this. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video now because it's extremely embarrassing. But yeah, that was the first episode of my baking the Harry Potter things gluten-free mini-series. I'm really not good with names, am I? Next time, I've got a couple lined up. My next one, I think I'm gonna do the happy birthday cake from Hagrid, Rubius Hagrid. You know, the pink one that Dudley ends up eating, I think. I know exactly what I'm gonna do for that. I also would like to attempt the cake that Dobby drops on the head of Mr. Vernon Dudley's boss's wife, because the piping looks so vintage and so ridiculous. I'm pretty sure there's like lime green and purple on there. It looks absolutely horrendous, but I think it'll be fun anyway. The other two I'm definitely going to do. After that, totally open to suggestions. So hopefully you'll enjoy this mini series. I'll probably have one out every couple of weeks or every week, not too sure yet. Thank you for watching. I was like, what do they say to say goodbye in Harry Potter? I'm not going home. Not really. See you later.